Bar staff, what interesting things have you heard or seen? Car plowed into the bar I was working in, coming all the way in, and flipping a pool table on its side. Pinned 3 off-duty Applebee's waitresses against the bar. No one was hurt, and the woman who was driving tried to order a drink. A woman was planning her dog's birthday party and was debating which dogs to invite, since some of the dogs didn't get along with her dog. Your like and subscription will really help my channel. We have a certain type of customer who always returns their drinks because they are not strong enough. This means they get a tiny drop of alcohol right in the straw. When I bring the drink back, their reaction is just amazing. It's always like, wow, that's strong. I was interviewed by a guy we had tossed out. My last year of high school, I was working as a bouncer at a bar. This guy was so awful that I had to throw him out. He also had a really funny combination of first and last name. My coworkers and I laughed, and I remembered him. Anyway, fast forward about a year, having finished school, and I'm at a staffing agency to interview for some crappy job. And then this guy walks in. He's in charge of recruiting. I don't know if he remembered me, but throughout the interview, he was acting a little weird and looking at me suspiciously. Of course, I didn't get the job. I worked as a bartender. Here's the story. 2 businessmen having after-work drinks on a Friday, where the conversation built up to one of the sweetest sentiments I've heard. At first, the usual, let me tell you, you're a good person. I love you, man. Later on, still fairly basic. To hell with these wives and jobs. You and I are buying motorcycles and going to travel around the country. To finally this gem. If a tornado were to blow you away, I would fly after you. Many years ago, one of my relatives got traumatized in college by a horrific incident involving a bouncer and a patron. She was on a first date at a local sports bar, and an off-duty bouncer that knew her date happened to walk in. He came over and said hi, and joined them at the table. A bit later, a guy the bouncer had ejected before walked up and shot him in the back of the head. My relative said it was an out-of-nowhere deafening boom, and randomly, the bouncer's head going flying forward to the table. A few seconds of shock, and then people screaming, and some running as it sets in. At the time, my relative was studying at a nursing school. She gathered her will into a fist and helped the victim until the ambulance arrived. He survived, but was left disabled. Gordon Ramsay walked in, ordered a half-sized margarita, and told me it was perfect after he finished it. He was a real gentleman, and even bowed and said thank you on the way out. I later learned they were filming an episode of Kitchen Nightmares around the corner, and he knew the chef who owned the restaurant where I was bartending. He came in the next night, too. I had a convo with Gordon Ramsay 2 days in a row. Lots of funny things at New Year when everyone is in fancy dress. The weirdest is definitely having a mariachi band burst in through the door of the pub, play 2 songs, and leave. Keep in mind this is the UK. It was a dark, rainy, midweek night. I don't know where they came from or where they went after, but while they played, they had the attention of everyone in the pub. A woman at a corporate event was explaining to 3 male coworkers how she loves the thrill attained from coke being snorted off her ass. Back when you kept a newspaper on the bar, guy walks in and goes straight for the paper, looks in one section, then the other, places paper down. I asked him if he found what he was looking for, and he said no. His ex isn't dead or in jail. Then he asked for a beer. These siblings, aged 50 to their 60s, arguing over their not even dead and in fact present at the table, mother's will, and who gets what. Really sad, especially when they fight and run out of the bar. Your like and subscription will really help my channel.